All right, everyone, welcome back. We are diving into some pretty murky waters today. Buckle up.
Murky is right.
You guys wanted to understand the recent news about President Biden issuing some pretty unusual pardons in his final hours in office.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking Dr. Fauci
General Milley.
and even folks connected to the January 6th investigation.
Yeah, real mixed bag.
And get this, these pardons are preemptive, meaning they're protecting these people from potential future charges.
That's the wild part.
What's that all about?
We'll definitely raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, no kidding. Preemptive pardons. That's not something you hear every day.
Right. You really don't. It's incredibly rare in American history.
So give us the historical context here. Like, has this ever happened before?
We have to go all the way back to President Ford pardoning Nixon.
Oh, right, for Watergate.
Exactly. Any crimes related to Watergate?
But even then, wasn't that different?
It was. Nixon had already resigned.
Yeah, facing impeachment.
Yep. So Biden's actions are breaking new ground here.
So, legally speaking, how do these preemptive pardons actually work?
So legally speaking, it makes it as if the crime never happened,
Ah, okay.
but only for potential crimes committed before the pardon.
Gotcha. So it's not like a get-out-of-jail-free card for anything they might do in the future.
Exactly. It's not a free pass for future action.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. Dr. Fauci, for instance,
Yeah.
he became a household name during COVID,
Oh, yeah. Everyone knew Fauci.
the face of the government's response. But he also had his fair share of critics, especially from those who, questioned the government's handling of the whole pandemic thing.
Right. There was a lot of debate surrounding his recommendations.
So what do you think is behind Biden's decision to pardon him preemptively?
Well, some people see it as a way to protect Fauci from potential politically motivated charges.
Especially if, let's say, there's another Trump administration.
You got it. Trump was very critical of Fauci, so there's that angle.
And, it's not just Fauci. There's General Milley, too.
Oh, yeah, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Served under both Trump and Biden.
Right, and he had his own share of controversies.
Especially surrounding his relationship with Trump. Like, some were worried he was maybe overstepping his authority.
Uh-huh.
Those allegations about him secretly talking with China.
Right, assuring them he'd warned them if Trump planned any military action.
Yeah, that was big news.
It was. And it was investigated, but nothing ever came of it.
No charges.
Right.
So this pardon could be a way to prevent any future charges related to that.
That's one way to look at it.
So is Biden basically saying he doesn't trust the future justice system under, say, another Trump administration?
Possibly. Or he could be concerned about protecting the people involved in these investigations.
To make sure others aren't afraid to speak out in the future, even if it means criticizing whoever's in power.
Exactly. Keeping those channels of communication open.
That's an interesting point. And then there are those connected to the January 6th investigation.
Oh, right. That's a whole other layer.
Including members of the House committee and even some of the Capitol police officers who testified.
Those investigations were definitely highly charged, politically speaking.
No doubt. And some argue that those who participated were, unfairly targeted and could potentially face, retribution.
Yeah.
Especially if the political winds shift.
Absolutely. So these pardons could be seen as like a shield against that.
Okay, so putting this all together, I mean, what does this say about the future of American politics? Are these pardons justified, or do they set kind of a dangerous precedent?
It's a really tough question, and there are no easy answers. But think about it this way.
Okay.
If a president can just preemptively pardon anyone for potential future crimes, what does that do to accountability?
Right, like, is anyone really accountable then?
Exactly. And what about the whole idea that no one is above the law? Does this undermine that? These are things we need to seriously consider.
This has definitely given us a lot to chew on. We've just scratched the surface here. But the implications of a president having the power to preempt future legal action, it's fascinating and a little bit unsettling.
Yeah, it's pretty unprecedented. And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Definitely. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep those questions coming, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.